Welcome to the Roadrunner 89 Investment Network, where we talk about interracial love and marriage. Hope you enjoy Swirl to Investment. All right, how's everybody doing tonight or today? Um, Happy Sunday, everybody. I decided to do a live show Sunday too, and next week I'm going to do two shows on the weekend. Uh, and I'm going to talk about plus size black women interracially dating and marriage. And then I'm going to talk about bowling for Becky's Gone Wrong. Building back a better swirl. Uh, that's going to be a fun show. Um, but tonight, okay, or today, some places it's night, some places it's day. I'm going to talk about, you guys have heard the term, once you go black, you don't go back, right? And there's people that take different meanings from that. From what I understand, is somebody that says once you go black, you don't go back. I take it as a way of showing love, white people showing love to black people they're in a relationship with, a marriage with. I never thought of it as a bad thing. I thought, well, yeah, if you're interracially dating, you're white with a black person, you should uplift them, right? And that should be the best to you. Okay? Every man or woman who they're with is the best option, or should be to them, right? Because that's who they chose to be with. But some people take it as, oh no, that means once you go black, you ain't coming back, because there's some racial content to that. Like people are saying, once you go over there, stay over there. And some people do say that, right? But I think for the most part, people say it with love and uplifting who they're with above everybody, which you should. I uplift my wife above everybody, right? Um, but we're going to talk about that. And when you open up your options, and white people, non-black people, when you go black, does that mean you don't go back? Or do you come back? I think for most white men, from what I've seen, once they go black, they don't come back. Okay. They fall in love with a black woman, and even if it don't work out, they look for another black woman. Okay. And that can be said for a lot of white women, right? They might have failed relationships, but that's what they're into. So they a lot of times will stay with that. Okay. For me, I open up my options right out the gate. So it's not like I started out opening up my options. But what do you guys think? Do you think once you go black, you don't go back? And if you do, is there a consequence to that? Because, some people do interracially date and come back to their own group. That happens. But I believe what people pretty much stay with what they want. Okay. And, I want to talk about this is what's the reaction? Okay. When a white woman comes back to the white community, does her value go down? Or a black woman to the black community, does her value go down? Or black and white men, when they date out and come back, is there a certain consequence to that? Or do some people don't have a real consequence where others do? Okay. And I'm going to talk about this. And look, stuff I'm going to say tonight might be a little triggering. And sometimes I'm not right all the time. I could be wrong on some things. Okay. It happens. But I want to tell you what I think. And really, I think in a perfect world, you go where you want to go. You love that person. And if you're a white person, you want to uplift your black wife or husband, you should do that. I don't see why either that's a problem. Our black people say, if a black woman says white men are the best option, what's wrong with that? And a black man says white women are the best, as long as you're not tearing down your group. Okay. You don't have to tear somebody down to love somebody. Okay. I take no offense by white women uplifting black men, Asian men above white men. That's perfectly fine. If that's who she loves, that's God bless her. And it should be that way for everybody, right? One is not better than the other, but some have a better outcome because of decisions they make. Okay, we can look at the data, marriage rates, all day and night. And that's one thing that the U.S. Census captures. And I know there have been a lot of studies on marriage rates between different groups and interracial marriages. Okay. And, some people don't like the truth when it comes out because it don't feed their narrative. Anyway, we're going to talk about this. Okay. And look, I support anybody who they date or marry. Okay. Whether you want to stay with your own group or open up your options. Okay. That's your decision. That's a personal decision. And I just tell people choose right. Get that best option, whatever that best option is. Okay. And if you feel a group is the best option for dating and marriage, nothing wrong with saying that. That's how you feel. You should be able to be happy in your own little world of who you're with. I don't know why people have to attack others because they choose to date and marry somebody. Okay. I think a lot of times people are so stuck in their ego. Oh my God, she's dating out, being a traitor. You're not a traitor because you love somebody different. And who you're with in a relationship, in a marriage is your decision. You got to live with that decision. And nobody has the right to tell you who you should date and marry. That's up to you. Okay. All right. Let me put this copyright disclaimer up here. Okay. Some of these videos we're going to use for educational purposes, for some commentary, opinion. Okay. And feel free to put your opinion out there. Okay. What you think. Some people think you should not date and marry out. Some people think, hey, it's the best option for you to do that. Okay. And my opinion, I think from my experience, my life, in my environment, to me, black women are the best option. Okay. Black women have been a blessing to me. Okay. But that don't mean my situation or my life is the same as yours. Okay. And my belief is one person is not better than the other. Some people do better because they make better decisions. Some people have more character than others. Some people work harder. Some people, okay, you can find good and bad in all groups. Okay, but for some reason, okay, and me finding this out, it's something I knew early on. that I knew how much of a blessing black women were, that I knew I was going to be successful when I married my wife. And I made a statement years ago that the black woman is the best option. And, I said I will have the most success because I chose the black woman. And I think other men will also. And I was laughed at. People thought I was crazy, didn't know what I was talking about. And back then, even though people opened up their options, there was still that perception that you do better with your own racial group, that it don't get no better. Okay, and the interracial thing don't work. That's what I was told. Okay, people warned me back in the day. They told me stay away from black women. Nothing wrong with them. They're beautiful women, but it just don't work. We're too different. There's going to be confusion. Your kids are going to be confused. And all this propaganda, all this crap. And my thing is, okay, I'll have biracial children, which I do. I have 3. But they're not sitting around having problems trying to figure out who they are. They know who they are. And me and my wife have taught them to love who they are. We didn't teach them to have problems with it or try to fit in with one group or the other, because we didn't want that. We didn't want them to favor one side of the family over the other. We want them to be able to love who they are in their family from both sides. Okay? And I'm telling you, in my family, I have the most successful marriage, hands down. But anyway, and I, opened up my options. And if you ask me, if you go black, do you come back? No, I'm never going back. I found an amazing wife. And that's okay. Anyway, let me show some of these videos. And you guys tell me what you think. Okay? Is this propaganda or is this, or is some of these videos true, factual? What's that? Most white men will go back to dating white women, but there's a small few that get addicted and end up preferring. I disagree with that. I think most white men that are serious never go back. Okay, I've seen, and my experience, the white men I know that are into black women, even in failed relationships, they find another black woman. Okay, but maybe you've seen some white men that are playing the field and just having fun with women, and maybe that's what's going on. But I don't, overall, I don't think that's true. But that's my opinion. Maybe you've seen something different. Okay. White men tend to stay with black women since we tend to be more loyal. Yes. I've always felt more comfortable around black women than white women. Serious. I feel like I have more trust. And I feel more comfortable. And being a white guy from a white neighborhood, I just always felt good around black women. And even black women I wasn't involved in a relationship where I just had friendship. I always had that trust. I always felt that black women, if you earn their love, their trust, their friendship, that the black woman will do you right. She will look out for you. And I've seen that. And I just feel love around black women. And not to say other women ain't beautiful and loving, they are, but there's just something about black women. Okay, and that's not a put down to nobody. That's just how I feel and what I've seen. And people say, how'd your marriage last so long? Well, I got a good wife that's loving, loyal, and if you do right by a black woman, you're going to end up okay. You're going to end up doing good for the most part. And it blows my mind that people don't see the beauty in black women. Okay? But, I never had a desire to be with other women while being with a black woman. I haven't. For me, it was black women or nothing. And it's not that I'm crazy and something's wrong. No, I just see the love. And at the end of the day, a man that's looking for true love, he's going to embrace that. Because at the end of the day, a man really wants a woman to love him, to be there for him. That's what we want. So people think it's all about how they look and the physical desire. No, it's not that. That's a part of it. But what we really want is a woman that's going to be truthful, loving, and loyal to us. Okay? And black women are that. But you got to be a loyal man. You got to do right. Great shirt. You like this? New York Islanders hockey jersey. I thought I'd wear a hockey jersey. I haven't worn one in a while. I've never been to New York, so I don't. Yeah, I've been in the airport, but I never got out of it, so I don't know what it's like there. But I like the jersey. It looks cool. And I'm a hockey fan, so I collect all jerseys. Hockey's my favorite sport. But anyway, black women are nurturing towards their men. Yes, Jayton, they are. Black women are, look, and I tell you, and people say, why do you like black women so much? Why did some black woman got a hold of you and did something to you and made you black woman crazy? You say, yeah. Gave me candy and called me big guy. And I was done. And what it is I can feel the love as a child. And growing up in a traditional family, being Christian in faith, there were black people within my parents' circle and family and friends. And, I could see the love, the beauty. And, sometimes the little things really capture your heart. And growing up, I could see beauty in different black women. It just wasn't a couple of black women that were nice to me and just pleasant. No. I could see it in many black women, young and old. I could see a certain amount of love, and compassion. Something, and all women, there's all women that have love and compassion. It's that the white Caucasian men that don't have the right intentions towards black women go back to white Caucasian. Well, yeah, you're probably right, because they're not looking for love. They're looking for a thrill. They're looking for a hookup. See what it's like, an experience. But that would be all men that wrong intentions go back and forth. They just try and be with women and looking at a body count. Okay. But I would say, I would say that black women a lot of times are able to turn corrupt white men like that. Once they experience true love, some will like, oh my God. And maybe come to their senses and really feel the love of a black woman. Because once you feel that love, oh, you're in New York City? Oh, okay. You'll like it here? but come in the summer, it's changing a lot. Yeah, you know what? I've been wanting to go to New York and take a vacation and see what it's like. I've been wanting to go to the Freedom Tower and the 9/11, Ground Zero and see it. And, I just love to see New York, the big city, and see what it has to offer. Um, Having a vacation. I would like to see it. I've never been there. I've never seen it. And I love big cities. I've been to Houston, Dallas, Los Angeles. I loved when I lived in LA. Oh my God, I loved it out there. Only problem is the cost of living. But anyway, I'll get down there and visit it sooner or later. I need to go to a travel agent, see what packages they have, and see where the nice places are to see. And I'd like to see it. I'd like to see Niagara Falls too. I think that would be neat. Do you think of the ridiculous narrative tending online with women telling other women to be mean to men because they prefer that over nice women? I don't agree with that. I just, if you're mean to a man and he's a good man, you might chase him away. I think I think they're looking at it as like a playing hard to get. I would say with men, I would say women should, have their standards, and uphold their standards and not let a man know that if he's serious, he's got to earn, the privilege to be with you, that he's got to prove he's a good man. But you don't have to be mean to him. Yeah, I don't. I've never been attracted to women mean to me. Sooner or later, I'm like, gosh, you're so mean. Okay, you don't want me around, I'm gone. But no, we don't prefer mean women over nice women. No. But I would say we have respect for women that have standards. And I think that's where they're getting at. A woman that has standards and stands on her beliefs, we might not like that if we're dating because we want, as men, maybe we want to have things our way, but that don't meet her standards. But we respect women like that. And I would say, a woman with standards is more attractive than a woman that just gives in to you. I would say there's truth to that. But being nice or mean, you can be nice to a man and uphold your standards, and you should, But anyway, let me go ahead and show a video. Okay. Now, these are videos. I show them. That don't mean I agree with them. Okay. Some I agree, some I don't. I'm just showing videos to get us to think about this. Once you go black, do you go back? Some never go back. I say the majority don't. But some come back, date back and forth. And, some have a bad experience and think the whole group's that way. You might have a white man that dates a black woman that treats them like garbage, takes advantage of them. You might think, wow, black women are horrible, and you might go back. And same thing with black women. They might get with a horrible, dusty white dude and say, wow, ain't nothing better over here. That does happen. But for a lot of us, we can see the beauty in black women, even if we have a bad experience in a relationship. And I did have a bad experience with the black woman, and that hurt. But all the black women I've been around, most black women have treated me with love and kindness. In most relationships, that I was in when I was younger, I messed that up because I was stupid. Okay. But we're human. And I would say men, I think all men have their dusty time, their dusty element. Okay. But I think a man that has accountability and has structure grows out of that dust and realizes the wrong he's doing, realizes how he hurts people, realizes that ain't the way. And really for men, we need accountability. That's how we learn. That's how we, keep it together. That's how we learn to take care of our wives and family. Anyway, let me show this video.
Racial dating black women and white men.
Okay, this is going to be good. It said black women and white men are the only one that can go back. And let's hear this, and then we're going to talk about it.
When it comes to interracial dating, black women and white men are the only ones that can go right back to their respectable races like nothing never happened. Like a brother ain't finna be like, oh, what the white man did, blah, blah, blah. We don't give a damn about who that sister dated, especially if it's a white man. We ain't gonna give a fuck. Just like how the white man can go back. I'm not saying all the white girls are like this, but they're like, oh, you're back where you belong, Chad. Now we can do this and that and show you it's just the way it is. But when it comes to a black man and a white woman, they just stay together. Ain't what they say? Once you go white, they turn off the light. Like, fuck it. And once you go black, that's real. Ain't no going back. Like let them white girls try to go back to them white boys. They look at you with disgust. You're like, oh, you date black guys? How many black guys you date? White dudes will ask your whole dating history if they find out you talk to a black man. But when it comes to the just like black women, it's reverse. So how many white girls you dated? One. One is good enough for me to get away from it. Y'all, once you date, just stay together because y'all bow for each other.
What do you think about what he said? Is that true? Black women, white men, we could go back and it's all good. Nobody says nothing. But the black man and white woman, ain't having it, right? What do you think? Is he right? Or is he just talking? Is there some truth to that? I would say with I would say this. With white nationalist minded and the black nationalist minded people, yeah, that'll be a problem because they don't think you should date out, that you should be with your own racial group, and they look at you as like a traitor if you go elsewhere. With those people, yeah, that's a problem, whether you're a man or a woman, right? But those are minority groups, okay, in both communities. They really are. And they're going to have a problem with it. But in general, okay, I will say this, okay? I think what he's saying, I think there's truth to what he's saying, okay? And I'm going to tell you why, okay? With white men, okay, and white men I've talked to that have a problem with dating a white woman that's been with a black man, okay? And look, not all white men are like that. There's some white men that, yeah, okay, you're with a black guy, whatever. And they'll date and marry that woman, okay? But most white men have issue with that. And most will leave that white woman alone, okay? And I'm going to tell you, that is truth. And even in the celebrity world, you look at it. White women that go over there, they don't get the same value. Look at Kim Kardashian. She's not going to be with a top tier celebrity white dude. She's going to be with a white dude that's under her successfully, right? But she can date white men and marry a white man. Yeah. I don't think, look, you can interracially date and go back to black or white. There is somebody that will take you, okay? It's not something that just, oh, you went over there, you're done. No, but there are people that look at us a certain way. And when men with, a lot of white men are cautious with white women that been with black men because their mindset is like, okay, you chose to be with a black man. Now it didn't work out. Now you're trying to come to me. And they feel like they're the fallback guy. It didn't work here, so I'll settle for you. That's a lot of the mindset. Because we hear a lot of white women with black men. Oh, black men are the best, and once you go black, you never go back, and they're the great. And you hear that a lot, so you're thinking, okay, if they're the best, why are you coming back? And that's not a racist thing. That's just saying, okay, I don't want to be second best. You know what I mean? And I used to think, okay, so what? She's a black guy. She loves you. You're good. Who cares? But did that woman come to you because it didn't work out over there and she feels that she's going to settle for you? Because I'm telling you, as a man, we don't want no woman to settle for us. And we shouldn't. I don't want to be second best. Man, I know women don't want to be the second choice either. And when you're in a marriage, you want to be everything to the person you're married to. And you should be. And what happens a lot of times when white women come back because it didn't work out is they go through something I call the Becky return policy. Okay? And what that is you're going to be looked at as a different way. Okay? And, a white man could get with a black woman and don't care how many black men she's been with because that's what she does, because that's her community. You know what I mean? So, okay, yeah, she's a black woman. And white men will embrace a black woman and marry her and adopt her children that are all black, and that's perfectly fine. But the white woman coming back, and I think it's mostly because, hey, we hear white women that are black guys brag about black men, and we hear black men bragging about, the white woman and putting black women down. So we're thinking, okay, there's something going on if she's coming back. What is this? And no man wants to be second best. Okay? And we shouldn't. No woman should be second best either. That's what's going on. So there is truth to that. Okay? And some black guys say, oh, well, white men are intimidated by black men. That's why they don't want to get with a white woman. No, it ain't that at all. It's just when a woman goes for a certain group of men, we kind of question, okay, that was your first choice. Now it's not. You know what I mean? So that's there. Now, a black woman, hey, and I'm telling you, it is that way. And I thought, because in a perfect world, we would just, how can I say this? Not worry about who they're with. But sometimes, a lot of times, black men and white women make it a point to let you know who they're with and how it's so much better. And not all, but enough to where like, okay, it was so great over there. Why are you here? What are you doing? But, with white women, look, I don't think they care. If you were with a black woman, they'll embrace you coming back. And I think a lot of white women feel like, hey, they won you over. Kind of like the Taylor Swift thing. I think she don't care that Travis Kelce was with black women. And sometimes there's white women that have an ego boost. Like, hey, he was with black women, but I won him back. And maybe I'm wrong, but I think there's something there. And a lot of white women in general could care less. You're with them now, you're taking care of them, they don't care. But white men, we do. Okay? You know, and I believe there's some truth to that. Now, the black community, I think black women don't want to mess with black men that are with white women because black women have been raked through the coals, have had it thrown in their face that a black man's with a white woman and they're better at this and that, and more submissive, which is a lie. But they're faced, so yeah, they're going to be skeptical. And you gotta, I'm not going to say for black women not be with a black man that's been with a white woman, but that could be a big problem. Okay? You might not be that preference. You might be the fallback woman. Okay, and white men too, look. If she's been with a black man, you got to be very careful. Okay? But with the Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift thing, I worry about that. I do, because I think Taylor Swift, I think she might get the short end of the stick in that situation. But maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. Okay? You know, because mostly white men that are in the black women, we don't just change overnight. In fact, we don't. You know? But anyway, I just see white men that are in the black women, and if they come back, to me, that's kind of, I don't know, I kind of cringe because that's a rare thing. You know what I mean? But I think what he's saying, there's some truth to it. And I think there's black men that will get with a black woman that's been with white men. And if she's very attractive, that will be like a ego boost. I've heard black men say they want the black woman that the white man has. I've heard them say that stuff. And I think there's some truth to it. There's some kind of psychological thing. Now, is it truthful for all people? No, of course not. You know, some people could care less who you dated before. And there's white guys, he loves a white woman. She could have biracial children and he'll take her in. But that's not the norm. Usually there's an issue. And I've seen it. But a black woman that has kids by a black man and he falls in love, it's okay. And he'll adopt those kids. I see it all the time. But anyway, what do you think? Now, that's my thought. Now, that don't apply to everybody. This is just my opinion from what I see. It might be true where I'm at, not true where you're at. I'm just saying. Okay. But anyway, but that's up to you. Okay. Look, once I dated, I knew I wasn't going back. Well, I never was there. But I just don't feel the same way. And I never have felt the same way with a different woman than I do with a black woman. I just don't. I just feel more comfortable around black women. I just feel more love. I feel, and look, there's black women that don't like me, sure. But, you know, once you develop a friendship and you earn the black woman's trust, it's pretty good. It's pleasant. It's awesome. Okay. Let me show this. Okay. Okay, this guy says once you go black, you can never go back. Actually means He's going to tell you what he thinks once you go black really means. Okay? And is he right? Okay, let me get the right. All right, let's hear him out. I'll put my 2 cents in after he's done.
Let me learn y'all something real quick, right? So y'all know the term, right? Once you go black, you can never go back, right? You mean that shit is not what the fuck you think it mean for real, right? The saying mean, as a white woman, if you go fuck with a nigga, that means you cannot come back over here and fuck with us white men. That's what the fucking mean. Y'all twisting the meaning up and all this other shit. Like, for example, you got black women, when they fuck with a white boy and shit, talk about some, oh yeah, once you go black, you can never go back. Like, no, that's not what the fucking mean. That's not what the fucking mean. It's not like a complimentary saying. You feel me? It's derogatory. Once you go black, you can never go back. Yeah, that mean they don't want your ass no more. I mean, they already be saying, oh yeah, they got the monster dicks and all. You know how they be talking about it. That shit is inhumane. Yeah. Like, you feel me? The racist bulls, you feel me? The racist white bulls, like they be like, oh yeah, well, she'll come back to me. Her fucking hole gonna be like this. You feel me? That's how they.
Okay, well, he lost all credibility. Now he's going to go stereotypes. White men are small, black men are huge, all that crap. Whatever. But here's the thing. People can mean once you go black, you can't come back. And there's certain people that feel that way, right? But when a white person says it about a black person, or a black person says about a white person in a relationship, it's a form of love. Like, hey, once you go black, you never go back because black women are amazing. Our white women think black men are amazing, right? When it's said in that way, it's a form of love. You're just saying, hey, I will open up my option. I went over here and I found love, and this is where I want to be. Why can't people just take it like that? But he's going to generalize it, okay, and say, no, it means it's just you can't go back because white people are so damn racist, and and some people got to bring race into every freaking thing, okay? Not everybody that says once you go black is a racist statement. Most people mean it as a form of uplifting, saying, hey, I'm with this black person and I'm never going back because I'm happy where I'm at. But see, when you're focused on race all the time, everything's racist. He probably thinks white people that wear white socks are racist. He probably, thinks that if you're on time to work, you're racist. I've heard so many stupid things trying to interject racism into things. Now, there are some people that say, no, you can never go back. Okay, that's a racist thing to say, right? But ones that say, you go black, you never go back. A lot of people mean it as a way of love. But this guy's so stuck on stereotypes and generalization, in my opinion, don't know what the hell he's talking about. Because you're going to take what a certain group says and broaden it to where anybody that says that, that's what it means. And you can't mean nothing else. Why not let people that are in an interracial relationship uplift that black person and say, you know what, you never go back. Okay, great. To me, that's showing love. But when you talk like he said, no, this is what it means, he's saying that everyone believes that way. And that's the problem, because people will not look at things on both sides and figure out where it's coming from. You just generalize it. They're just racist. They're not going to love you, black people. That's just what it is. Anyway, let's continue.
That's why they be saying that shit. They jealous and shit. That's another topic of conversation though. But I just want motherfuckers to know, once you go black, you can never go back. That shit was never a positive thing. You feel me? That was always the rock.
That's bullshit. It's been a positive thing. It is a positive thing. For people that love somebody out of their race, is a positive thing. Okay? Now, maybe he's been with a white woman that, kicked him to the curb, so he thinks, man, it's all racist. No. People will say it, and it means different things, okay? And people in a relationship with a black person, they say it, they're not saying it out of hate and racism. They're saying it to uplift who they're with. You can't see that. Now, a racist white person or black person says, once you go over there, you stay over there. I get it. There's people that use that. Man, anyway.
Derogatory, and motherfuckers want to switch the narrative and be like, oh yeah, well, once these white people come fuck with us, black people, they really, see that we the best. No, it don't mean that. It does not fucking mean that. Like, I wish people would,
Nah, it means that to me, black women are the best. Yes, and I'm not going back. And it's love. Now, maybe he hadn't had a white woman feel that way about him, and maybe he's caught in his feelings. So he's going to tear it all down and say, no, that's not what it means. They're jealous. Really? No, you're jealous because you haven't felt that, I think. And you want to turn it into a racial thing. Why not just say, hey, you love that black person, God bless you, go love that person. I've never hated a white woman for loving a black man. If that's who she loves, God bless her, let her be with the man she loves. Just like I could be with who I want to be with. What are we doing? Quit turning everything in the race. Okay? I got it. Some people say, you go black, you stay black. Okay. All right? But people that are saying it, they're saying once you go black, you don't go back. How is that racist? They're just saying you love the black person you're with. It can't mean that. Oh, no, it's got to be a racial thing.
You feel me? Like, really do they fucking research on shit. That shit is some racist, derogatory.
Yeah, do your research, dude.
Anti-black ass shit.
Oh, anti-black saying you go black, you don't go back? That sounds like a pro-black statement. That sounds like people are uplifting black people.
You mean white supremacy, patriarchal type of,
Okay, here we go. White supremacy. So if a white person is with a black person, that's white supremacy. And see, he don't come here and say, you know what? There are some white people that love black people and that's who they're with. But there are some racists that, use it the other way. Like if you go black, you can't come back. That would be a correct statement. That would be fair. But to just say it's just all racist and white supremacy. And this is the problem. People don't research. He's saying research, but what is he researching? A pro-black, anti-white opinion? Does he even look at it both sides? I mean, does he talk to people in an interracial relationship? When you say you go black, you don't go back? What do you mean by that? People put racism in so many things that I'm telling you, you can't make stuff up. I've heard people say if you're on time to work, you're racist. I've heard people say that. I've heard that being with a black woman is racist if you're a white man. How does that work? I've been told that black women are the white hand of white supremacy. Really? I mean, I know there's racism out there and there's evil, but come on. Call it out as it happens. Don't just make stuff up and put it into everything. Because right now it's just sounding stupid. And racist white people do not get with black people. Okay, come on now. That don't even make sense. to interracially date and marry, but you're racist. I just, but if you're a segregationist, you're perfectly good, right?
Feel me? That's what that shit falls under. Y'all sitting here, I should go back, go back. Like, come on with that shit, bro. Y'all don't even know what it means. We gotta just, we gotta really start doing our research, especially when there's sayings and things that's about us, and that's being said about us, whether it's true or not. We gotta start doing our research, bro. We can't just be out here just repeating rhetoric.
Wow, he can't even take a compliment. You can't even. Wow. You can't even. So if a white woman says it, he's going to think it's racist. Okay. Whatever. But what's it really mean? It can mean anything. Okay, once you go black, you never go back. That could mean that because you love the black person you're with. Or it could mean somebody that sees it, don't like it, and say, don't come back. But he's trying to tell you that if somebody says it's just racist, there's, and that's what it means. They don't mean nothing else. But anyway, let me drop him down. Okay. But that's just dumb. Okay. And then let me put this up here.
Sweeter to their.
Okay, this is kind of low, so listen really good. I got my volume all the way up. Okay, this woman says white men who date black women. Black women says white men are sweeter than black men. Okay. Now, this is her opinion. Let's hear what she has to say. And there's a stitch on the end of it of a black man giving his opinion.
White men are sweeter to their wives. Well, the white men who date black women.
I haven't seen coonery on this level since Samuel L. Jackson played Stephen in Django. But before I go any further, I'd like to...
Okay, let me stop. So he's calling what she said coonery because she said white men are sweeter than black men. Well, maybe her experience, that's true. How is that so-called coonery? What is coonery anyway? Sellout behavior or anti-black? Is that what you mean? You're comparing her to that character in Django. I mean, really? But anyway, let's hear what he has to say.
Repeat something that a white supremacist said. He said that the black woman will be the white man's watchdog against black men. The black woman will be the white man's watchdog against black men. The black woman will be the white man's greatest weapon against black men. That's what he said.
Well, that might be what a white supremacist said, but here's the truth, okay? Here's the truth. The worst enemy right now to a black woman is the black man. When you look at marriage rates, when you look at out-of-wedlock birth rates, look at what black women are going through. Look at how they're being treated. Look at how many black women are not married because black men aren't marrying black women. And then when a black woman gets with a white man because he's treating her better, now she's a sellout. Now she's all kinds of coonery or whatever that crap means. And you're going to put him up to that guy in Django or whatever and compare her to him. Maybe she feels white men are treating her better. Maybe that's her experience. But you got to look. What's the percentage of black women that are married? 26%. Who has the lowest marriage rates? The black community. Who has the most failed marriage rates in the black community? Who has the most out of wedlock birth rate? There ain't no self-reflection on that. And look, our whole country's going to hell in a handbasket. We all are failing, okay? But to attack a woman because she feels better with a white man and calling her a coon and referring her to that dude in Django is ridiculous. Maybe you should listen to black women and say, you know what? Is it true? Do white men, are they sweeter? Do they treat them better? Or is she lying? Do your research. See, but when there's no accountability, then you go to the default excuse. Oh, it can't be us. It's racism, white supremacy. Oh, black women, being single mothers and 72% of black children born out of wedlock, that's not our fault. I mean, come on. I know there's racism. It needs to, and we need to get rid of it. And but come on. It's not white supremacy for a black woman to have a preference for a white man. Okay, and maybe that's her experience. But, and why do you care? Are you trying to date her? I mean, I've heard white women say black men are better. Okay, good for you. What? Who cares? I don't call her names and say, oh, you're a sellout. You But these guys caught in his feelings. Let's hear some more.
Then look at social media. Look at all the black women like you. All the black women like you who are doing exactly what he said. Exactly what he said. See, I'm not trying to be disrespectful.
Well, you are.
Keep it 100 like I always do. You said white men who date black women are sweeter.
Yeah, and that's the truth. Look. A lot of us are more traditional. We value women more. We look at women as the prize. We look at women as a treasure. Okay? We're not going around saying, oh, we're the prize. I mean, seriously. We do treat women better, and especially us traditional men, because we understand the value of a good wife. We understand the virtuous woman is a blessing from God. We understand that the woman and the children are more important than us. Yes. So we are going to treat them better. Now, it ain't, it ain't all, okay? But in general, we do treat women better. That's why our marriage rates are better with black women than there are black women with black men. We do much better. And not to say there aren't trash white dudes, because they're out there. But come on. Just because she says treating don't mean she's attacking black men. Maybe that's... I've heard... Look. I've heard white men say Asian women are better. I've heard white men say they only date their race and whatever. That's their choice. And, there's black women that only want to be with black men. That's their business. Or they want to date white or Asian guys. That don't make them racist because, look, and this is what I think the problem is. I think black men are uplifted so much by black women, okay? And not all, but I just think they're told they're kings and they're the best. And I think sometimes they're told this so much that when a black woman don't see them as wonderful, that they get caught up in their feelings because they're used to being told they're great. They're used to black women fighting the good fight for them. They're used to black women protesting for him, praising the black man. They're used to that. So when a black woman says, "Oh, I'm going over here," they don't know what to do. See, but us white men, and I'm going to tell you, when we see Becky with the black man or Asian, we don't care. We really don't, because the white woman ain't going to bat for the white man. She's not going to get out there and say how wonderful the white man is and protest for it. No. And we don't expect her to do that. That's not her place. We got to do the protecting as men. We got to uplift the women. In the black community, it's backwards. So I kind of get why he's caught in his feelings, okay? Because you've probably been told that black people got to stick together and the white man's the enemy. And, if you show love to a white man, you're showing love to the enemy. And that way of thinking needs to go. We need to quit living in the segregated mindset. We got to get along here. We're people. This is our country. Okay? You got to get out of your feeling. If a black woman wants to go where she wants, that's her business. You do not own black women. Okay? Just like white men don't own white women. Okay? Every human being can make their own decision and believe what they want. That's a beautiful thing. Freedom of choice. Right? But why bash her? Okay. If she likes white men and thinks they're sweeter, that's her deal. But people got a problem with it. Why? Because she's not, if she said the black man's the greatest, he'd be, oh yeah, with his shirt off and, But if he's not the uplifted, there's a problem. And I tell you, when you coddle men, you bring out the worst in them. Because they have trouble dealing with rejection. They have trouble with not being chosen first. And life in reality, look, there's always going to be somebody that, has that women like better. It's life. So what?
When this has nothing to do with black men, this has everything to do with you and your bed wench mentality.
Oh, okay, now she's a bed wench because she said white men are sweeter. See how the hate festers? Okay, he don't like the fact that she says white men are sweeter. So instead of saying, you know what? I think you're wrong. We're actually sweeter. We do more. No, he's going to refer her to, the butt kissing black dude in Django and refer her to that as a sellout and a bed wench. Why is she a bed wench? I mean, why? Because she said white men are sweeter? And see, this is a problem. He can't just say, you know what? Okay, I don't agree with you, but you do you. Be with who you want to be with. And just let it go. No, she's got to be attacked. She's got to be called a sellout. She's got to be called the bedwetch. He's just got to go in, because she's not picking him. Look at your marriage rates. Look at your out-of-wedlock birth rates. What are you doing for the black woman? How about doing a little research there? And how about talking to these black women and say, hey, why do you think that way? Instead of just assuming that, she's a bedwench, self-hater, and I mean, this is crazy. All she said is white men treat black women they date sweeter.
See, when black women like you date black men, you have a certain behavior. You're argumentative. You're disrespectful. He want to go up, you want to go down. He want to go right, you want to go left. But the minute you date a white man, you reprogram yourself. You do what we call code switching. You do a code switch. You become feminine. You become agreeable, respectful. You become a lady. You see the difference? See, this has nothing to do with black men. This has everything to do with you and who you are and how you were programmed. See, if you love white men and you want to date white men, do that. Leave us out of it. If you want to date Asian men, date Asian men. Leave us out of it. Go with who you want to go.
Okay, he says, go where you want to go, leave us out of it. Okay. How about you tell some of your black buddies to go date white women and leave black women out of it? How about you just go do you and leave black women out of it? How about that? But she didn't really go in on black men. She just said they treated him sweeter. That's it. She can't believe that? She can't feel that way? He's got his feelings hurt because she's saying that white men are treating black women better. He can't handle that. You're not supposed to say that. And how can she be conditioned this way? I mean, is that what they teach in the black community? Oh, hey, when you're around the white man, be sweeter and be act like a lady. And, you know, and I've heard this all the time, that black women act more feminine around white men. Black women treat white men better and all this stuff. And I would say this. At times it's true because she's not being treated right. And when she gets a white man, she's treated a little bit better. And I know this is true because when I dated black women, they were amazed that I was nice to them. They were amazed that I paid the whole bill when we went to eat and see a movie. They were amazed that I didn't ask them to come out of pocket for the date. They were amazed I paid for it. And they're amazed that I didn't try to touch them on the first date. Look, I know we treat them better. I'm just saying. That's not all, but just look at your community. Look at the marriage rates. Look at the out of wedlock birth rate. And you know what? There's a lot of work that needs to be done. And it's not the black woman selling out the black man. It's just black women are getting tired of carrying the weight. Black women are getting tired of doing the protesting and fighting and uplifting the man and catering to him and doing better and trying to do better and trying to understand them and trying this and that. And this kind of mindset, you're kind of pushing black women to date out. You know, and I know you feel if you vilify a black woman, you'll make her feel bad to where she stays with the black man. Because if she don't, she's a bed wench and a sellout and all this stuff. Anyway, but all she said is they treat them sweeter. Oh, my God.
But the problem I have is when you try to put color on how a man will treat you. White men treat you better. That's that big wench mentality. But I'm not mad at you for it because...
yeah, you are. You're mad at her.
I know that you were programmed to be like this.
And who programmed her, sir? It wasn't programmed. She was treated a certain way. And she sees that white men are treating black women better, or being more sweeter. And I'm going to tell you, I 100% believe that to be true. Because when we date a black woman, you know what? This is what goes through our head. Okay, we got to be right. We don't want to say the wrong thing. Got to be sensitive. Got to understand. Got to listen to her. I don't want her to think I'm racist. I want her to know that I'm not just with her because she's a black woman. I want her to know it's not a fetish. Oh my God, how can I show her that I treat her? And you treat her nice. You treat her with love and respect. And a lot of white men that are into black women will treat them like a queen because we don't expect her a lot of times to be with us. We don't expect it. But we pour into it because we know we got to prove ourselves. We don't get a free pass. Black men do. And that's why you're caught in your feelings. Newsflash, more black women are dating out than ever. More interracial marriages are happening. And if this hurts your feelings, you're just going to go through life with hurt feelings. I'm just saying. But so what? She thinks black men are better. There are white women that think black men are better. Okay. And I don't spend my time making videos caught in my feelings. I don't care. And tell you the truth. Can I be honest? Can I be honest with you guys? And look, I believe this. And it's not out of hate. It's not out of... I believe this. Okay? If black women and white women got together and decided, hey, let's trade places, I would be perfectly fine with that. In fact, I would be happy about that. Because I know in the community I live in, more black women around would make it better. I think our marriage rates would go up. I think, of course, you ain't going to get groups of people to switch like that. But what I'm saying is, I would be okay with it. I would be okay. But, people go where they want to be. And he's filming in his bed, yeah. He's on the down low, yet obsessed with... Hey, there are some trickback Dusties that are like that. But let's listen to a little bit more, and then I'll bring this down, because this is dumb.
I know you were programmed to be like this. I used to get so mad and upset when I seen black men and black women do this BS. I used to get headaches. But then I started reading, started researching, because I was trying to get a better understanding of where they were coming from. And that led me all the way back to slavery, to Christianity. Believe it or not, Christianity has so much to do with why black people have developed a color complex. Why we get...
Okay, stop right there. So now you're going to blame Christianity. And everything goes back to slavery. Look, in today's world, you are a failure. Your community is a failure. You're not taking care of black women. And instead of standing up and saying, you know what, we need to do better. No, you got to go back to slavery. And then you want to go in on Christianity. Okay? Christianity didn't create slavery. Christianity didn't create hate. Okay? Every religion on the face of the earth participated in slavery. Okay? And I'm so tired of this attack on Christianity. Okay? Oh, well, it was white people, in Christianity led to this and that. No, it's not. Evil, sinful people led it that way. Yeah, if people read the Bible and lived the Christian way, slavery would have never took place. Okay? So you need to attack the people and not the faith, idiot. I get so tired of that. They say, oh, well, it's a white man's religion, Christianity. No, it's not. It came from the Middle East. And there were Christians in Africa before the transatlantic slave trade. But you won't do no research. How about the trans-Saharan slave trade? Was that a bunch of Christians over there? No, it wasn't. But we don't talk about that. It's always an attack on Christianity. I mean, Christianity led to the abolitionist movement. We don't talk about that, do we? But when you just talk talking points and you don't have no solution, you just ramble on and just say things. And then guys like this will never take accountability. He'll always refer to white supremacy and slavery. And that's, anytime I have an argument or a discussion, with one of these woke pro-black people. And we could be talking about something, but it always goes to slavery, Jim Crow. It always goes where white people were at their worst. And it's like, okay, that happened, but what about today's world? What are we doing to fix today? What are we doing? I mean, and if you're looking in the black community, you see a lot of children born out of wedlock. You see a lot of single mothers suffering, struggling. You see this going on. You see poverty. And maybe you think, okay, as men, we got to marry these women we lay down with and make it better and develop some wealth. But, you know, you could just blame it on white supremacy. Hey, it's never your fault, right? You feel good about it? This black woman says white men are sweeter, but, you know, she's a bad wench and, you know, white supremacy, and it goes back to slavery. Really? But see how this goes? We cannot live in today's world with these people with that mindset, because, you know, they can't do nothing because slavery happened. They can't, you know, and nothing's ever their fault. And nothing's ever this guy's fault. And if a black woman loves a white man, oh my God, she's a bad wench and a racist sellout. And how do we ever make progress? It's just, I don't know. But you could hate white people, but fix the black community. My God.
It act right when we get around white people. Christianity has a lot to do with that. They knew this. That's why
No, Christianity does not, dumbass.
they whitewash the Bible. That's why every picture you see of Christ is a white Christ. They knew what they was doing.
Okay, first of all, most Christian churches do not have a white Jesus, okay? And the times I've been at church, nobody ever told me Jesus was white. We knew Jesus came from the Middle East. We knew that. We knew he wasn't a European, okay? And I don't like pictures of the white Jesus. I don't think you should have pictures of that. You know, and it's like, you know, there's black Christian churches that have a black Jesus. And there's been around the world that they have Jesus in their image. You know, and that's not right. But the thing of it is Christianity didn't start in Europe, guy. Okay? And before you attack Christianity, you need to learn what Christianity is about. Okay? Just because someone does something evil and claims to be Christian does not mean that's Christianity. Okay? And if you really study the Bible, Christianity is about people coming together through Christ. Jesus paid the sin debt for all. Okay? Now, I know people manipulated the Bible to get people to do certain things, but that's evil people. Okay? But, you know, we're not going to talk about the Christians that did good things, are we? We're not going to talk about the abolitionist movement. No, that was Christians. They don't get credit for that. They get credit because some plantation owner said he was that. And that's what Christianity is. Because you don't even know what Christianity is. Anyway, let's continue.
And see, this is why you think white men treat you better. This is why you think white men treat you better, because you've been programmed from the time you came out your mama's coochie. You were being programmed by the TV shows you watch, the music you listen to, even the toys you played with. Even the toys you played with. You used to see all the black girls run around with white Barbie dolls and white baby dolls, being beat down mentally and didn't even know it. They had a thing they used to call the brown paper bag challenge, to where If you were lighter than this brown paper bag, then you was good. But if you were darker than this brown paper bag, then you were bad.
Okay. So if they did that, they did do that. But who is practicing colorism more in today's world? Okay. And if you know that's bad, are you going in there and telling black people to stop colorism? Are you telling people to quit attacking people that are dark complected and being shamed for their skin tone that they can't control? Because you would say, okay, it came from white supremacy, but what are you doing? But I bet this joker ain't going on black people about it. Because there's no accountability. And you know, that's the problem. Because there's a default. Oh, it's white supremacy. It's racism. It's Christianity. It's the white man did it. And here's the thing. If this was white supremacy and you know it, why do you still practice it? Why? I mean, it's the weirdest thing. You know, it's like, okay, the welfare system took the black man out of the house. Okay, well, if you know that, why aren't you getting back into the house? Why are your marriage rates lower than when welfare was taking the black man out of the house? If you know the problem, how come you can't fix it? That's my whole thing. And this is, look, all the things he's talking about, you know, and here's what happens, and this is destructive, okay? And it hurts black people more than anything, because you can shame white people, slavery, Jim Crow. Yeah, white people did evil things. Okay, you could go to the past. But here's the thing. If you can't take care of your community and the women in it, what good are you? Okay, slavery happened. Yeah, it's evil. What are you doing in 2025? I'm just saying, where's the solution? Okay, a black woman said white men are sweeter. Okay, well, if that bothers you, find out why she said it. Or why is that belief out there? Have you looked at the black femicide rates? I mean, nothing's ever talked about that. But we're going to go back to slavery. We're going to talk about slavery. We're going to talk about Jim Crow. We're going to talk about white supremacy. Sounds to me like you're living in the past. Sounds to me like you have the victim mentality and nothing's ever your fault. So when a black woman says something that ain't putting you up there above other men, you're going to refer back to slavery, back to racism, white supremacy. Oh my God. And this is truly what's destroying the black community, the victim mindset. Okay? We can talk about the evils. I'm not against that. But you got to live in today's world. You got to fix your house before you could put blame. Because all you're doing is making an excuse. Oh, well, black women are saying this because they're programmed. Maybe they're saying it because it's true. Maybe black women are more feminine around white men because they are treating them better. Maybe they don't feel intimidated by the white man. Maybe they feel like, oh my God, he's treating me better. Maybe you can learn from the white man, today's white man. Okay, we're not the slave owners. We're not going around causing trouble with black people. In fact, more black people are unaliving white people than white people are doing to black people in today's world. Now, I know the past was different. I got it. But come on, we're in 2025. And look, black men are the biggest group to interracially date and marry. So what about that? If you're so pro-black, why don't you call out the black men too? Why aren't they bedwench because they're with Becky? Oh, you won't say that. Let me drop this now. This is just stupid. It's all Christianity fault, the white man's fault. Oh God, this woman said white men are better, so she's programmed, bed wench. It just, and he just couldn't come up and say, okay, well, look, I think she's wrong. And I don't believe that because, I treat women great or something. But see how it all revolves around slavery. It all revolves around white supremacy. And all she said was, white women that date black women are sweeter. That's it. Is she allowed to say that without being called a bin wench and attacked? Without saying she's practicing coonery? Whatever that is. I mean, serious. And I think that's the biggest problem right there. And I'm telling you, I believe this. We need to live in today's world. Okay, I know the past happened. We can't forget the evil, right? But we gotta get along. And the thing is when black women in the community are the most harmed group of women in America, the most that are human trafficked, the most that are unalived, the most that are abused. I mean, are we talking about that? Or are we going to write it off as white supremacy? I mean, seriously, because if you have an excuse, you never have a solution. If you're not held accountable, you can never be better. And here's the thing. When you have an excuse, that just makes failure easier to deal with. Okay, and I'm sorry I got in this route, but I just see where this is going. He didn't like the fact that she said white men were sweeter. So he got caught in his feelings, started calling her names, call her a bed wench, says she's programmed, then went to slavery, and then attacked Christianity. I mean, but never took accountability. Well, maybe we need to treat black women better. Maybe we need to do better. But you could tell his ego would never let it do it. He thought, man, look at me. I've got my shirt off. I mean, really? No. All right, enough of that. But look, they consistently say other races of women are, black men say that all the time. And that woman didn't say white men are better. She just said they're sweeter. I mean, Mr. Kitten and Hill. Okay. All right. But anyway, what I'm saying is we got to live in today's world. Okay. And look, maybe black women, and most black women are race loyal still, even through all they go through. I mean, the black community could be on top if they did two things. The men take accountability and marry the women they lay down with and love them. I think if they did those two things, they'd be on top. And we wouldn't be going back to slavery and Jim Crow. It'd be like, hey, this is how you could do better. I mean, I don't know. That's just my opinion. Okay. All right, here's another one.
Once you go black, you never.
Okay, here's a black woman that has the same, almost the same belief. Let me go ahead and play this. I'm going to step out a while, and I'll be right back. Okay? But listen to this video.
You know the phrase, once you go black, you never go back? I recently, very recently, just learned that that's actually a warning. When white people say that to other white people, it's essentially like you're now tainted, no one's gonna ever want you, so if you decide to interact with black people in that way, you better stay your ass over there kind of thing. And I had to use the restroom, really, really, really badly. And here's what I saw in the restroom. it was just very interesting how that thing I just learned was reaffirmed in real time.
Okay, sorry about that. I had to step out for a minute here. Okay. Can you guys hear me okay? Hey, give me a 1 if you can hear me. Okay, guess nobody can hear me. Oh, yes, you can. Okay, sorry about that. Thank you. Okay, do you hear what she said? Sorry, I had to step out. But she's saying that once you go black, it's a warning. Okay? And I guess she don't believe it means, you know what it means either. It's like white people telling you that once you go black, you can't come back. I've had white people tell me like, oh, you know, it's amazing you've been married. Hey, once you go black, you don't go back, huh, bro? And they'll give me a thumbs up. And they're not telling me that, hey, you can't go back. Well, I can't because, you know, I love my wife, but it's out of love. It's like, hey, do you? You know, I have people that compliment me and say, hey, we love your show. We love that you love black women and you're not afraid to say it. That's awesome. That you could choose your own path. And they might say, hey, once you go black, you don't go back, huh? And they say, man, that must be true if you've been married that long. And it's in a loving way. It's not like, hey, you stay over there. Damn traitor, damn it. You go black, you better stay over there. I've never heard white people tell me that. If they say it, it's like in a loving, joking way, like, oh my God, I guess that is true. When you go black, you don't come back. But some people think it's a warning, like, hey, you better stay. And see, that's a misconception. And I hate when people just say things. Because maybe that's true in a certain group of white people that they don't want race mixing, okay? But most white people are okay with it. Most white people don't care who you date or who you marry. And we just don't. Not in today's world. Maybe, you know, in Jim Crow era, yeah, I'm sure it was extremely horrible, okay? But in today's world, it's not that way. At least not where I live and the people I'm around. No, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's a racist town that just... Now, remember, black men went to the Supreme Court. Yes, they did. Risking backlash to demand the right to marry white women. Yes. And let me tell you, black men have always loved white women, okay? And they did go to the Supreme Court before the Loving versus Virginia. They did. They wanted access to white women bad. And in fact, a lot of the civil rights leaders were with white women. Do you know that? Look at the Black Panthers. They were sleeping with white women, having black women guard the dorms. Telling you. Hey, Alexander. Hey, thanks for the super chat. It's good to see you, brother. And say hi, everyone. Yeah. But yeah, civil rights leaders were with white women. Martin Luther King was with a white woman. But, you know, his dad wasn't having that. And he couldn't be a civil rights leader with a white woman, which to me, wouldn't that show unity, black and white coming together? I don't know. But back then, it was a segregated world, I guess. Malcolm X was dated all kinds of white women before he converted to Islam. I mean, there's a lot of them. And then there's rumors of, allegedly there were rumors of communists trying to infiltrate the United States by having white women get with black men. I'm not going to say that's true, but I've seen some things. I've seen some videos on it. Anyway. You opened up your options and landed a doctor. Awesome. Okay. But anyway, look, you should be with who you want to be with, who you love. Okay? If you want to open up your options, do it. No one can make you happy except for who you love. And if you have a preference for black, white, Asian, and you say that's the best, nothing wrong with that. In your heart, in your world, that's the best. Okay? And don't be ashamed of loving who you love. Okay? All right. Let's show a video. Okay, this is one from a white woman. Okay, this went viral. And she's talking about she's always been with black men, but she's discouraging it. Okay. And it's kind of interesting because you don't see, every once in a while you see a white woman says, I went there and it wasn't the right decision. But you don't see it a lot. Okay. But this video went viral, and I know you guys have seen it. And this is her thoughts, and we'll talk about it. Okay.
Never actually go back.
Okay, and then there's going to be a black woman giving her 2 cents on it. Okay. I'll play it all the way through, and you tell me what you think.
Black, you never actually go back to them. Okay, that's what that.
It's always funny to me to see these white girls that crash out after they've had failed relationships with black.
Okay, let me start it over.
Black, you never actually go back to them. Okay, that's what that.
Okay, all right. What the white woman said is she said, what it really means is when you go black, you never go back to them. Okay, she's putting a different spin on that. Okay, now this went viral. Okay, I know a lot of people were triggered by that, and well, that's her business. Okay, and but anyway, this black woman gives her 2 cents in, and let me play this through, and we'll talk about it.
Black, you never actually go back to them. Okay, that's what that.
It's always funny to me to see these white girls that crash out after they've had failed relationships with black men. It is hilarious to watch. Because normally what happens is these white girls wanted to be part of black culture. They wanted to have that proximity to blackness. But the black girls that they came in contact with was like, oh, hell no, Becky, if you don't get your ass. So they were jealous. So them dating black men all boils down to them thinking that that's them getting revenge on black women. Like, I'm taking something that belongs to you. Look, your men don't even want y'all. Aha, I'm better than y'all. And then when they get these black men and realize the black men don't care about them no more than they care about black women, now all of a sudden it's, ooh, don't date black men. Once you go black, no. See, the problem here is she thought that as a white woman, she was going to get with a black man and she was going to be the standard. See, whatever black man she got with, that was his preference. So she figured like, okay, I'm going to be better than any black woman that he could ever come in contact with, because look at me, I'm white. I'm obviously better just by waking up in the morning. And now that she feels bamboozled, hoodwinked, led astray even, now it's, don't date black men. You fetishized black men because you felt like black men was going to give you that proximity to blackness that you so desperately yearn for. Like, I hear that black scent trying to leak out. I hear it. Even your daddy told you, stay away from them darkies, and you still didn't listen. And to say, I've always liked black men is just more fetishization of the black man. Because what you could have said is, I like men, so if I just happen to meet one that's black and he's nice, then, so be it. But saying, like, I've always liked black men, as if they're just, a slab of meat, is disgusting. It's fetishization. So please, you're not a victim here. You know who's the victim? The victim are those children that you raised in a non-nuclear household. Yeah, they're the victims. They're the victims of everything that's getting ready to happen, because whatever's getting ready to happen between you and the black man you procreated with is getting ready to be tumultuous. And those kids are the victim, not you, Becky, with the okay hair.
Oh, man. Look, I'll say one thing about this, okay? Now, just because, now I'm going to disagree with this lady. She said, when you say you only dated black man, that's a fetish. No, it's not. Okay. Just because you have a preference and you only date a certain group, that don't mean you have a fetish. Okay. That might mean that's who you love, you feel more comfortable around. That might be, that's who you want to be with. It don't mean you're just lusting after them. Okay. Because there's people that will date all races and not care and fetishize all women or all men. Okay. That part I disagree. Now she might fetish white or black men. Maybe so. I don't know. But I would say, let's put it back here. Now somebody said it did go viral, yeah. I think her own men, white men, don't want her back. Well, I'm going to say this. She's going to go through what I call a Becky return policy. Okay, and I don't mean to be funny, but white men are going to look at her different. She gets with a white man, he's going to be concerned because that's all she dated is black men. Now you want to come back? I don't know. She'd be better off saying, well, yeah, saying she's a black guy, but she's been with other men. She just loves men, and that's what happened. That'd be the best way to play it. Don't tell that white man that you've only dated black men, because he's going to cut you off, say, okay, go be with a black man. See ya. She looks Asian? Yeah, kinda. Maybe she got some Asian there. Could be. Okay. But somebody said this, and I want to address this. As Cynthia said, they get the same failed black man. I've heard that. Okay. And looking at the marriage rates, and actually they get worse with white women. White women get a worse result than black women do with black men. And let me say this, okay? White women are getting the same black man, yes. But us white men are getting the same black woman. We're getting the most nurturing woman. We're getting the most loving woman, the most educated woman, the most spiritual woman. Yeah, the most beautiful woman. So us white men and other non-black men are getting the same black woman. Yeah, we're getting that blessing that you're throwing away. I'm telling you. So maybe I should make a show on that. White men getting the same black woman. We are. We're loving it. We have the most successful marriages. We have the most loving wives and mothers. Heck yeah. You know what? The more black women in my community, the better. Because you know what? They are the most sweetest, most loving women, most spiritual. Tell you what, there's a reason why black women are my preference. And it goes way beyond the physical. Of course, that's great too, but look, black women have had my heart as a child and will always have my heart. And I tell you, we get the same black woman that black men are getting that they discard. I'm telling you. But that was interesting. I wish her luck. Don't tell white men that you only dated black men. Don't do it. Mm-mm. You probably need to tell them you were with a black man. Say, yeah, it didn't work out, but I just love everybody. Sell them that. Just say you just love men. Just sell them that, please. If you're going to get with a white man, or else it's not going to be good. And even that, they probably not going to believe you. Okay. When she's trying to find a white man to marry her, she'll drop that black scent. I tell you, that's how Becky rolls, though. Look, I'm going to tell you about white women, okay? White women are strategic. White women are calculating, okay? And I'm telling you, they're not as loving as black women. Mm-mm. Now, a white woman, there are good white women that'll love you with all their heart. Don't get me wrong. But a lot of times, white women are doing what they feel is best for them. Okay? And they'll exploit men to get what they want. Okay? And some of them that, have a desire to be with black men will get with a black man, have fun, and then marry the white man later. That happens. But white women are doing that with white men. They'll get with white men they desire and then marry the white man that's got the money. And look around. White women, they're conniving. And I'm telling you, and they know how to exploit black men. They know how to play on their ego, their emotions. I'm telling you. Anyway. But I'm telling you, and the numbers say it, white men, look, you have a more success rate with black women than you do with white women. Okay, I know a lot of people are going to be mad at me for saying that, and it's not a put down. That's just what the numbers say. Okay, and there are good white women. I'm not saying they're horrible, but no one will love you like a black woman does. Once you earn her trust, once you connect with her, and if she loves you, you are set for life. But you got to be a good man. You got to do right. Okay. Just listening tonight. Okay. Good to see you, Alexander. All right. Let me play this other video.
I'm not gonna lie to y'all.
My black men putting me through. Okay. Let's hear what she says.
I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I am one failed black man away from putting raisins in my potato salad, finding me a thrifty synthetic wig, and finding me a Connor.
Wow. This should be alarm to black men. Look, if says she's one failed black man away from putting raisins in the potato salad. Look, if you're willing to go that far, she's done, and she's thinking about getting her a Connor. Well, look, get you a Connor. You don't have to deal with the raisins in the potato salad, because I tell you a little secret. Most white men don't like that shit at all. We hate it. But because the women in our lives, i.e. wives and mothers and sisters, we kind of make them believe we like that crap, but we don't. So you get with that Connor, hey, you just, cook them the food you've been taught to cook, and oh my God, you'll make him happy. He'll love you so much. Oh my God, he might gain a little weight, because black women that can cook, I'm telling you, look, I speak from experience. But hey, get you a Connor. And look, there's a lot of black women. Now, this is kind of funny, right? But there's a lot of black women that are that way. They're like, you know what? Why am I going to continue when the marriage ain't there, where, they're not being treated like they should be? And I'm telling you, when men have big egos, and this is generally most men. When we got big egos and we're not held accountable, we usually don't treat women right. We don't. I'm gonna be honest. Okay? We have to have some humility. We have to understand. And a lot of these guys are not being held accountable. Connor doesn't want a black man pick me reject. Okay. Anyway. All right. Nice videos. Now, this one is my favorite of tonight. And this video is funny. And anyway, they're going to talk about once you go black.
Back, you're never going back.
Okay. Dalton and Soka, you guys know them, right?
Go black, you're never going back. Y'all cool as hell. I appreciate that, buddy. But listen, there's a lot of truth to that statement right there. I mean, I met old Soccer Path and ain't been with a Caucasian since.
Caucasian free for many years, aren't you, Dalton?
It's true.
You ever miss white girls?
What?
What?
As I was saying.
What do you do the most? Black girls, white girls? Answer the question.
I'm attracted to if you're cool and you got a something squeeze onto, bub. It's all good to me.
On, huh?
I don't have a preference. It don't matter
if
if you're.
Preference?
It doesn't matter if you're black or white. Dalton's gonna smash.
Okay. All right. How long did you say he was Caucasian free? Is that what it is now? Well, dang, you know what? How many years? I've been Caucasian free since 1985, meaning been with black women since 85 till I got married in 94. So how many years is that? Oh my God. I guess I never went back. I'm not going back. So it's true. Once you go back, you go black, you never go back. Yeah. Tell you a secret. I can't go back because I open up my options straight out the gate. So I've been with a black woman from the get-go. 40 years. Happy anniversary. Yeah. Look, I've been married 31 years, but I dated black women in high school. First girlfriend was a black girl. Yes, when I was 16, back in 1985. And I never looked back. And I never wanted to. Because see, black women have been an amazing blessing to me. And look, it started when I was a child. Growing up, I always thought Donna Summer was amazing. I always thought, Thelma and Good Times was beautiful. And I always, the black women I seen in my time, in the 70s, 80s, I just, to me, they were just the most amazing, beautiful women ever. And even as a child, I thought that. My dream girlfriend was Donna Summer. I thought, man, I'm like, I would fantasize like that's my wife because she, everybody loved Donna Summer, right? It just, and you know what? Growing up in those times, there were a number of black women that had a positive image that you could see the beauty. And, and just looking at TV shows, they say, well, it subconsciously gets you. But I look at that and seeing beautiful, successful women. And then you guys remember the Cosby Show? I always thought, man, and everybody watched the Cosby Show. It doesn't matter if you're black or white. Everybody watched it. But I remember watching it with my family and stuff when I was like in high school and stuff. And I thought, man, the most beautiful woman was Claire Huxtable to me. She was attractive. And what it was is, of course, she's a beautiful woman, right? But being successful, highly educated, a loving mother and wife, right? That's what I pictured the perfect woman being. A black woman that's educated, loving, a good wife, a good mother, and, and that's what I found attractive. It was a beautiful thing. And, I look at shows today and I see that Love and Hip Hop hot mess, housewives or whatever, and I just see so much crap and garbage, people having affairs and side chicks and all this stupid crap. I know people are into that stuff and it's entertaining, but it really don't give a good image on the black community at all. And black women either. I mean, I don't know. I think a lot of black women need to open up their options. And I look at celebrities, we see on TV, right? You see Mary J. Blige dealing with black dudes that took all kinds of money from her. You look at what's her name? Fantasia. She was done wrong. And you look at Beyonce, she's still married, but her husband cheated. You look at that Love and Marriage hot mess, the Rashida and Kirk situation. Yeah, I watch a little bit of that garbage, but I tell you, that woman has tried hard to work out her marriage, but he keeps cheating and doing her wrong. And I look at some of this, and maybe these black women need to get him a Connor. Go get Connor. Talk to, I don't know. Anyway, hey, you know what? Did you know when black women open up their options, their marriage rates go up? Did you know when white men open up their options, our marriages go up? And you know what's crazy about that is black women and white men are better off dating other groups of people, or marrying other groups of people, statistically. But black men and white women, they do worse when they open up their options. I don't know. It's crazy. I don't know. Maybe we weren't meant to be with our same race. You know what? Maybe I should talk about that. Maybe black women, white men were meant for each other, and maybe the world just don't want to accept it because we do better together than with our own or with anybody else. I don't know. And I heard, look, I've been watching these videos, right? And I don't want to just believe anything I hear. I'm not like that. I do some research. But they were saying genetic wise, right? They were saying that human beings, that they do better when they mix genetics, like i.e. interracial procreation. And I kind of, I believe that. I don't think one race is better than the other. I don't believe that crap. But I do believe when we come together, we do have advantages. Because they're talking in a scientific form that when you get the genetics mix, that human beings tend to bring out the stronger genes. And they end up doing a little better, having slight advantages. And I mean, I don't have enough research to tell you whether that's true or not, but I believe that. I think, I don't know, you just take like black and white people, if you mix them, you know, like let's say, okay, what's weakness that black people have and white people have, right? You say like, okay, white people, skin cancer, our skin's light, you know, we're more susceptible for skin cancer because we don't have as much melanin in our skin. But black people, they do better. And then you take, you know, black people have sickle cell disease and white people don't have that. So you bring them together, you kind of, I wouldn't say you eliminate those diseases because anybody could get skin cancer. And there's been some white people that got sickle cell. It's very rare, but it does happen. But if you mix that, you would kind of eliminate two weaknesses that we have. I don't know, just food for thought. Is that true? I'm not a scientist. I'm just telling you what I think, and I don't know. But I think we'd be better. Our immune system would be better. I mean, I don't know. I just think, you know, and look, we're people, we're human beings. And the way I look at it is there's not different races, it's the human race. And, you know, we have our strengths and weaknesses, you know. Like black people could run faster. They got that genetic advantage. But when it comes to swimming, white people do better because of our bone density and that type of stuff. Not say, you know what I mean? I don't know. I was just thinking about that. I was listening to some of these doctors talking about genetics and like, it's not a bad thing to procreate with different people because our genes become stronger. And it's not an advantage to where you become a superhuman. No, you still, you still have your strengths and weaknesses, but you get a slight advantage that they say they're finding out. I kind of believe that. You're a scientist? Okay, the phrase you're looking for is breaking up bad gene complexes. Okay. What's that? Middle Eastern descent people have sickle cell too. Okay, yeah, I'm not saying they don't. Look, there are some white people that end up getting it. I mean, it's very rare. You know, it's like skin cancer, right? There are some black people that get skin cancer. It's very rare, but it does happen. And I'm not saying one's better than the other. Look, we all have our strengths and weaknesses. I'm just saying, you know, when you talk about, you know, I just think it's human nature that the body takes the strongest genes. And, you know, black and white people have their strengths and weaknesses. Okay, that's all I was saying. And that, but yeah, well, there's a lot of Middle Eastern people that have black DNA, you know. The Trans-Sahara slave trade, I think it lasted like 1,700 years. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think somebody said that. And there were a lot of black slaves taken into the Middle East. And, you know, of course they, you know, procreated with the women and you know, but the men, they're castrated. You know, the women, you know, they were sold into sex slavery, forced marriages, and crap like that. We don't talk about that much. But anyway, what's that? The Middle East isn't a race. They're literally a mixture of black, white, West, and East Asian. Oh, yeah, I believe that. Yeah. I think you're right. I don't think, I don't look at people as a race. Okay, we say race because that's how we generalize black and white and Asian, but we're people. Okay, we came from the same place. And if you believe the Bible to be true, we all came from Adam and Eve. Okay, we're all sons of Noah. We're people. You know, but yeah, there's mixtures everywhere. I mean, even if you take white people that are 100% white, they have a lot of European mixture. I mean, even people in Europe have a lot of mixture European-wise because men traveled and procreated with other groups of people. And Africa, same thing. Different groups of black people intermix, and that's why you do a DNA and you have percentages scattered all over the place. Because men and women got together. And now, you know, we're worldwide. You got black and white people procreating Hispanic, and we get a big mixture. In the future, we're going to be a big mixed race country. And that's okay. That's beautiful. As long as we're good people and love each other, who cares what we look like? That's my opinion on it. Okay. But anyway, let me I need to end this soon. I've been talking all day. But I'm going to put the link if anybody wants to come up. You don't have to. I want to leave it up for a little bit. But tonight's topic, once you go black, do you come back? I say most people don't. Because people have their preference mostly, you know, and I've seen white men that are in the black women and even that have failed marriages end up finding another black wife. Okay. And, you know, and if I didn't have a good wife, I'd be the same way. It just, you know, but the beautiful thing is when I see black women, white men come together and have successful marriages and defy the odds, and we're doing it. We are doing it. We're having success where people didn't think we would. And we should embrace that. And I think the reason is black women, white men have to fight to be with each other. You know, it's like we take abuse from both sides. But we make it work. And look, if you have true love, you can, you know what? You'll last forever. Ain't nobody can conquer true love. Great show. Oh, thanks, Jennifer. Noah had interracial marriages in his family. Yeah. And, you know, we're descendants of Noah. We all are. So, you know, some people are light, some are dark, some in between. Hey, we're people. And what that tells me is God loves different colors. If he didn't, he'd make us all the same, right? But here's the test. Can we love each other regardless of how we look? Or wasn't his wife black? I don't know. Could be. Yeah. I think Eve was a black woman. I do. I think I that thing about the Eve gene, I think that really exists. I think, and it would make sense because it's either that or Adam and Eve were a brown color because they have all our DNA, right? And that's the way I always thought, and maybe they were black and they got lighter complected here and there. I don't know. And I don't care. I mean, people are people. But I know God likes different people, different colors of people. And look, one is not better than the other. All the colors are beautiful, right? I think so. And you know what? Embrace who you are, love who you are, but don't let that love for self get you thinking you're better than somebody else. That's the key. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and close this show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Look, some of the stuff I say is my opinion, okay? My beliefs, okay? And I'm not trying to tear nobody down. I'm just telling you what I see and what I think is true. Now, am I right? I think I'm right, but sometimes I am wrong, okay? And that's okay. That's how we learn, okay? But what I do know is once you go black, nothing wrong with that, okay? And it was designed to show love for the black person you're with, okay? And I think most people say it, they do it out of love. Like, hey, I'm with a black wife. Once you go black, you don't go back. Okay, that's just showing love and complimenting black women, okay? And white women are doing it for black men. I think people get too wrapped up in that stuff and try to spin it as somehow racist in a way. And I don't know. You look, when I say once you go black, I'm not saying that one group's better than the other. I'm just saying I found love and I'm happy where I'm at and I'm not coming back. I'm staying where I'm at. That's how I look at it. But people can make it mean whatever they want to, right? But my thing is look, find out the best option for you. Go where you're loved and celebrated, and don't worry about what anybody thinks. Live your life for you. Do what's best for you, because you got to live with that person, okay? The people that try to give you advice who you should date and marry, they don't have to live with who you choose. You do. I sometimes think Brit is mixed. I have European mixture. Let me tell you all I'm mixed with. Let me think. English, German, French, Scottish, Irish, Sweden, Norway. That's my mixture. That's all white people, though. Yeah, I got a mixed heart. I love everybody. How about that? Okay, guys, I'm going to say a prayer and then we'll go about our day. Hey, I got some good shows coming up. We're going to have fun. Okay, I might get some trolls in some of these shows, but that's fine. I like trolls sometimes. Trolls can be fun. Okay. Maybe sometimes I get in the mood, I'll let someone come up and get a little smoke. You know. Let me see here. I'm going to tell you what I got going on here. All right, show's coming up. And you can look at my channel and you hit the live button and it tells you what I got scheduled. Okay? And I got 2 shows next week. Okay? Saturday night, I'm going to talk about plus size black women and interracial dating. Okay? I'm going to talk about that. And look, black women, you do not have to be a supermodel to date white men. Don't believe that garbage. Okay? Some of us are plus size. I'm plus size, you know. So it's okay. But I just recommend try to be healthy. That's what I do. But I'll do a show on that. And then next Sunday, about 3:30, same time, we're going to talk about Bowling for Becky's gone wrong. Okay? Build back a better swirl. Okay, I want to talk about that Michigan coach that had a mistress. And I want to talk about that. I'm going to talk about Shannon Sharp and his foolishness. And that one black guy that was shot by his girlfriend, she was cleaning her gun. That was weird. That didn't make sense. I think she was meant to shoot him and use the excuse. But anyway, but I'm going to talk about that. And it might be a little triggering. Bowling for Becky's gone wrong. Okay. But I'm going to talk about that. I know you guys been asking me to talk about that that Michigan coach that got fired, messing around. But anyway, I'm going to cover that because I got some emails. People asked, and somebody asked me on the show last night, and I'm sorry I didn't answer it, but yeah, I'm going to talk about him. I'm going to talk about other situations, okay? Because nobody really talks about that. They talk about swirling gone wrong when it's a white man, but they don't do it the other way. So I'm going to balance it out a little bit, okay? And look, because I make that show don't mean I'm against white women and black men. I'm not. I want their marriages to be good too, okay? I want everybody to have a good marriage, a good relationship. Okay, I wish black and white people would get, come together more. I really do. Oh, what's that? Thanks for the super chat again, Alex. Hey, Alex, if you want to put something up, just put it in caps. You don't have to give me a super chat, but I do appreciate it. He said, Brett, I don't go live again till New Year's Day. Okay. All right, we'll see you New Year's Day. Okay, I will be here for the shows now. Oh, okay, awesome. You're always welcome here, Alex. Thank you, bro. But just put in caps what you want me to say. You don't have to super chat it, okay? But thank you, sir. Okay. But those shows are going to be fun. And I got to get some videos together, and I'm going to talk about, those are 2 big topics, and people have been asking me to talk about it, and I think we need to, and but the main thing is to have fun here. Main thing is you enjoy the content, okay? And like I said, I want to be real with you. I want to know you to know who I am, okay? Look. When it comes to swirling and swirl to investment, I don't just make videos about it. That's my life. For me, it's a way of life. Okay. I've been married to my awesome wife for 31 years. And look, come next spring, we'll hit 32 years and we'll keep going. And that's what it's about, finding love. And I did. And by the grace of God, by my parents, not trying to get in my way, I was able to open up my options and choose my own path. And I've been blessed for it. And I tell you, and I recommend everybody, get to know other people. The people that love you might not look like you. That's okay. Nobody loves me like my wife does. She's a black woman. It's all right. And since I've been raised to look at people as people, and I can see the true character of women, I found out that black women are pretty amazing. Found out, wow, black women are the best option. And I can back it up statistically too. That's just not how I feel. That's what I see in real life, real time. Oh, thank you so much, J10. Good to see you, young lady. Hope all is well. Yeah, thanks for coming in. It's always good to see you. And I appreciate you being here. My wife asked about you too. She said, has J10 been around? How's she doing and stuff? And, and I said, well, she comes every now and then, but I hope everything's well. And, I thank you for all you do. And you've been a blessing to this channel. And I want to say thank you. Okay. And it's good to see you. It is. Anyway, guys, I just want to say a prayer before I go. And we'll see you Saturday and Sunday. We'll have a good time right before Christmas. I might go live New Year's, maybe. Maybe I'll do I don't know. I'll have to see what's going on. I'm going to have the family over this year, though. I mean, everybody. We're having a house full. I mean, it's going to be awesome this Christmas. I don't know if I'll do a New Year's show this year. I might not. But anyway, I'll do a show Saturday and Sunday, though. I'll do that again. And but yeah, they're already scheduled. I'm already looking for videos and stuff to plug into those shows, and we'll have a good time. Okay. And anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's show. God bless you and your families. Let me just say a prayer before we go. Lord, thank you so much for allowing me to have a show tonight, Lord. And I pray that I could be a blessing. And I pray that people that watch this show would do their research and seek out the truth and not rely on stereotypes and generalizations. And I pray that our country can move forward and that we can come together as a loving nation of people that love each other. And I pray that you give people the courage to open up their options, Lord, and give them the courage to not be afraid to be with who they love and be able to go where they're loved and celebrated. And I pray you bless everybody here tonight. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. All right, guys. Thank you so much. You have a blessed weekend. Okay. I know it's Sunday. Back to work Monday. Yeah, I got to go back to work. But that's how it is. That's okay. But I'll see you guys next weekend. You guys, enjoy what's left of the weekend. I'll see you next weekend. And I thank you for being a part of this channel, a part of the Roadrunner family. And I am grateful you know, that you watch me. I'm grateful for the support. Without you, this don't exist. And I'm very grateful. I don't take you for granted. No way. Okay. And I appreciate the love you give me and my wife, Sandy. And, you know, that is appreciated more than you know. But you guys have a good night. God bless. I'll see you next weekend. Have a good night. Swirl to Investment.